Hello, this is Akiko Sudano from StampinInTheMeadows.com in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. And thank you so much for joining me on my Sunday afternoon Facebook Live. Let me see where things are. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hold on a second. Yeah. Okay. Great. So today I'm going to make a floral thank you card with the pretty hand pen petals stamp bundle, and this is one from the Hi Chi. Thank you so much for joining me. And this is from the Hi Amy, thanks for joining me today. This is from the annual catalog, and this is just such a pretty set because it's got the beautiful drawn flowers and stuff, and then it's got all of the different stamps that you can use to color it that have the watercolor look to it, and then it comes with also in that same suite is the hand pen designer series paper, and there was one of the sheets of paper that has all of these cinnamon cider flowers, watercolor flowers, and I thought that this is perfect. Hi Karen, thank you so much for joining me today. I thought this is perfect for this time of year because I just haven't played with this bundle enough, so I wanted to play with it and but do it appropriate to the season. So we've got trick-or-treaters coming this evening, and later on we'll be getting ready for Thanksgiving. So need to stick with the fall colors. Except for getting ready for Christmas cards, because Christmas cards take such a long time to do as well. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start with the background, and I've cut a lot of the pieces already. And I have a cinnamon cider card base, and I have another piece of the designer series paper, and I'm going to adhere this to a basic black mat, and I'm going to do this with liquid glue. Now the mat I believe is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and so the designer series paper panel is going to be 1/8 of an inch smaller than that on both sides. So I'm going to just adhere this with liquid glue, smear this around, and get everything all prepped, and then we can go ahead and do some stamping and coloring, do our flowers. But let's see here. Slide this up just a little bit so that I got a good center on. There we go. Sometimes it's hard to see until everything is flat, whether you've got something lined up properly. And so that's the nice thing about being able to slide it around a little bit with the liquid glue. Okay, so this is my panel, and then I've I used the layering circles dies to cut a scalloped circle die out of cinnamon cider cardstock, and out of basic white I cut the plain circle, and I used the largest of the circles for both of these, the largest of the scallop circles and the largest of the plain circles. So I'm going to just adhere these together again with liquid glue, and this way I have just a little bit of the cinnamon cider peeking through as a background for the flower. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to, let's see here, kind of center it. There we go, 4 by 4, and I think this line is in the center, so that'll help me center it. And I'm going to adhere this layered circle panel on top of the card base. Actually, this isn't the card base yet because I haven't adhered it to the card base, but I'll put this on top of this panel, approximately the center, kind of up high. It doesn't have to be too high. There's a lot of movement where you can move it up and down. It's not going to really matter. It's okay. There, and so that's done. And then, so these guys are just 1 layer thick. Actually, it's multiple layers, but I haven't put any dimensionals on that. But I will take the layered panel and I will put it on my card base with dimensionals. So that will give it a little bit of height and pop it up just a little bit so that it's a little bit more interesting. And we get this all set up, and then we can go ahead and start working on our flower, and getting some stamping done. So this, I was just so glad for having some fall paper and being able to use this stamp set for a fall, kind of a fall themed thank you card. So I've got that ready, and we'll just center this on a cinnamon cider card base. That looks kind of straight. Yeah, okay. I didn't do that upside down. That's good. All right, so we'll put this aside and we can go ahead and start stamping. Now I've taken this, this large flower, and it's this flower from the stamp set, and I have mounted it on my stamp block, and I've got a little piece of basic white paper right here that I'm going to go ahead and stamp that on. And this is a 3x3 piece of paper, basic white, and get this inked up. I think that's good. And using tuxedo black ink with that. And I'm going to put this on my panel right here like this. Give it a good press. Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me today. There we go. So that's all set. And then another thing that the other thing that I did was I'm going to go ahead and stamp the label. And what I've done is I've taken this little piece of cinnamon cider cardstock, and it's just a 3/4 of an inch wide strip, and then I trimmed the end off with the Banner's Pick-a-Punch to make like a fishtail. And I just find that this is easier to do before I stamp, so that I can have a better feel for where this is going, where the stamp is relative to the panel. And so this is 2.5 inches. I think that 2 2.25 inches, just a little bit more than 2, I think, maybe closer to 2.25 inches. And then I punch the end off. And so here we go with the sentiment, and then that's done. So I love this font. Isn't that gorgeous? So now we're going to go ahead and color our flower. And there's stamps to give you an inside coloring, so sort of two-step sort of thing. But I'm going to go ahead and color this with Stampin Blends, and I'm using the dark mint macaron Stampin Blend. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me today to do the leaves and all the greenery, the stems and the leaves. And I'm not really trying to do any shading with this. I'm going to just color this with the solid mint macaron. Try to stay in the lines. But, you know, this has got such a, the watercolor feel to the flowers and the art work, that I think that it's not bad if you, and then the lines aren't fully connected. So if you end up going out of the lines, I think that's fine. That's just being artistic with your card making and the artwork. And it goes with the style of this stamp. And I'm just using the brush tip, and I'm just trying to put the color down, and I'm gonna, in the center here, go a little bit darker to maybe give it a little bit of shading. I don't know how much that's gonna really matter. And go up these leaves here. And there. See how that looks. That little section under there on the previous one, my sample card, I went ahead and I colored that all the way in, but then I thought, I don't know if that's supposed to be colored all the way in, or if it's okay to just leave it with like a little bit of the background showing through. So I decided, well, this time let's try leaving a little bit of the background showing through and see what that looks like, and see which you prefer. And go a little bit over on the center sections here. Maybe that'll darken it up just a little bit. But I'm just basically, the leaves I'm just basically coloring. Most of this I'm just trying to get it filled up with color. And then on the large flower, we'll do a little bit of blending. But everything else is just, we just want to get the color put down. Now for this flower, this little flower, I'm going to make it with a little, this is the dark Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to do the center and dark Daffodil Delight. And then do the rest of the flower, in the light, I think this is, yeah, this is the light balmy blue. Everything's upside down, but the light balmy blue. So I don't think this Designer Series paper had balmy blue in it, but I felt like the pool party was just a little, had just a little too much green, and so I wanted to make this a little bit bluer. And again, with this flower, it's just getting it filled up with color. And if I have like spaces where it's a little bit light, or I miss it, then I think that'll just be the highlighting. And it'll be okay. Kind of goes with that watercolor theme of having different different intensities. So if you miss something, that's fine. Okay, so this guy, those two flowers are done. Okay, so the next one is going to be, I'm using, for the large flower, I'm using the light pumpkin pie and the light cinnamon cider. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to take the light pumpkin pie and just brush kind of big strokes in the center of these petals to make sure I've got color there for most of the petals here. And come back and do some fine coloring afterwards. Actually, I'm going to leave this uncovered. And then I'm going to take the petals one at a time and do the blending on the petals. And I'm going to just do the, put the cinnamon cider, and this is the light cinnamon cider. Put the cinnamon cider where you're on the, like, especially on the bottoms of the petals, and then on some of the edges, and then where, especially where there's going to be a petal on the top overlapping it. And then I'm going to come back with the light color and bring the color all the way in and kind of make kind of swooshing, they say to make circles, so it's kind of like swishing circles to kind of blend the color in. There. And then if I don't go over this, it kind of leaves it in a little bit lighter, and it looks like it's a kind of a highlight. So now I'm going to do this bottom petal down here, and that's going to be mostly cinnamon cider. And I'll just put a little bit of the light pumpkin pie in there. That'll kind of blend it all together. And I do find that if I get a better blending effect if I do one petal at a time, or one or two petals at most, if they're real close to each other. So this one is going to be back there, and so I'm going to back in, smush it around, and bring this up. There, and then this is the cinnamon cider again, and down here, and then those petals are kind of casting, these bottom petals are kind of casting a shadow up there, so I'll do that and then bring this up around like that, and then just blend these. Blend that around, and then do this guy, and here he's at the bottom of the flower. This petal's at the bottom, so give him a good amount of cinnamon cider. Kind of go around. If you see a harsh edge, just take a little more time, and I guess the solution and the pen will more will come out, and it'll help it to blend. And do this one again. This area down here is going to be real dark because that's more towards the center. Always towards the center of the flowers, you end up with more color, more intense color. So it's going to be darker. And I'm going to just add a little bit more right here. This looks a little light to me, so just add a little bit more and bring this down. Oh, I need to go back to that. Alrighty. Bring it around here. Up there. This little petal. And this is again on the bottom of the flower, so go all the way around. Come in, and then the top petals be nice and light. And down here. And we've got some shadow from the petal on top here, so we'll put a little bit down underneath that too. And pull it all the way out. There we go. And then just two more to do. And this is going to be really dark in here because this is really more to the center. And bring this out and here, and then up here a little bit too, on top of this petal. And get the tips of that petal, and the last one. I guess this one just doesn't need very much, just a little bit at the bottom there. And there. All right, so that's done. So you can see on, I guess, this little area right in here, I left that kind of not colored, whereas on this one I went ahead and I brought the green all the way in, and then I said, no, the leaf isn't going to go that way. I don't know, that makes a difference. I don't know, what do you think? And then the next thing we're going to do is cut it out with a coordinating die. And this is just like this. So I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine, and I'm going to, oh, thank you so much, Karen. It's this is an easy one because there's not that much space that you need to color with it. So it goes quickly, and it's not too complicated. And I just really just did the blending on the one flower. All right. So got that laid in my die cutting machine. Run it through. And here we go. Put that right back there. There. So that comes out like this. And then what we'll do is put it, adhere it to the card front here with dimensionals. And these half dimensionals really are perfect for this kind of thing because you can go right into the leaves like that. And we're going to, most of this is going to be on the circle, so we can just, I tended to put a lot on here, so I think that's fine. Pull the covers off. Going back to the coloring, I was really surprised that the cinnamon cider and the light pumpkin pie worked so well together. Because usually I just, you color something with your light and dark of the same Stampin' Blend family. So I was pleased that they went together so well with this piece. And then kind of high is fine. Just make it, and you know what? I'm trying to make it straight, but I don't think it's going to really matter that much whether it's straight or not. And then my label, I'm going to adhere that with dimensionals and with glue dots, but I'm going to put the dimensionals on the on this panel here like this, so that my label will go right across here like this, and whether as however far right or left it goes, I don't think it matters, just as long as you have what you want showing, and that your label doesn't overlap the card. So where are my glue dots? Here they are. I thought I had pulled those out, so I'll pull this off. Just put a couple of them on the label here on this side, because that's going to be on the flowers that are popped up. Then I want to pull the covers off of these dimensionals. Oops, sorry about that. I hit my camera stand here. Hopefully we're okay. I went to put that in my little trash bin. Try to stay neat. All right, and then try to keep this, I guess, fairly straight. It's not going to matter so much, but I think if you know it's not straight, then it really bugs you. There, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so this is almost finished, and then, I was so pleased when I pulled this together at how well these champagne rhinestones look with these fall colors and stuff. So I'm going to decorate, put some champagne rhinestones on the background here. And I think I've got one more. I think I need to get some more, but I'm going to put a big one on that side. And then I'll put two little ones up in the top corner there. It's a skinny little spot, but that way I have a, let's use this one. This one's nice and sparkly. This is I guess kind of just like a cluster of flowers with the spray, and I'm going to ink this up and do this in basic black, and I'm going to just kind of do it right on the bottom corner here, like that. And I don't know, maybe this should have been stamped off. I'm not sure, but I did not do that. But I'm going to stamp off the flowers on top of that. And I'm going to be doing this stamping this in cinnamon cider. And I found that it worked best if I stamped it off twice and then go and put the flowers on top here. There we go. So it's just a little bit of color. It's light, but it kind of goes with some of the washed out lighter color cinnamon cider accents on the designer series paper. And then I think I also want to add, I've got one of the stamps in this set is a tiny little leaf, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp, I only did one. I'm going to stamp this right here in mint macaron, and I stamped that off, and I think I'm going to do another one on the other side. Yeah, I think that works. Now, I'm never sure as to how much of that is going to end up showing after I put my little strip of designer series paper on there. And where did my little strip of designer series paper go? Here it is underneath all of this. So, yeah, we've got some of that showing. That's nice. And I will put this on with liquid glue. And we're almost done. And I'm gonna put this on this side so that I have more of this cinnamon cider paper on my trim. I think that'll be pretty, and that'll kind of balance out the cinnamon cider on that side. And then I'll check the back, make sure that I'm even here. I think that's okay. And then trim the excess on this side. Okay, there we go. Now, so that's the inside, and we'll put it on the inside of our card, and then we're done. And this doesn't really have. There we go. I didn't put a sentiment on the inside of this one, but I felt like I needed to do some stamping so that it's not a plain inside. And I think that works. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Chris. I love flower cards, and I was so glad that this worked well for this time of year. And then I was playing with it this morning a little bit more and thinking, oh, should I add some pumpkins to it? I think they would go well with it, but I think that's a little too much. You know, it's like, okay, do I need to do this extra thing? No, and that's going one step too far. Oh, okay, there we go. So, that's the inside of the card. I think this placement looks better, and I like it better with the two leaves than I did on this one. This is a little bit too sharp, the angle there. And then that's my card. So thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy yourself tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow next weekend. Bye bye.